howdy, welcome back. Very excited to have you back here meeting with me virtually once again for the Small Watch channel. We got a really fun one on deck today, so I'm pretty jazzed about that. You've heard of sort of the hot girl summer concept. You know, I think Megan Thee Stallion, the illustrious Megan Thee Stallion started that. For me, it's been a bit of a hot G-Shock summer. That's what I'm gonna say. But thankfully the fever is starting to break. I'm super jazzed about that. You know, my wallet's probably kind of thankful for that too. But it did not break before I got this particular piece that we're going to look at today. I really wanted to cover this one because I don't really see a lot of coverage of this one on YouTube, to be honest. I maybe saw a couple of videos and really not a lot of, you know, more intense review coverage. So jazzed about that. We'll take a look at that. As far as, you know, a little wristwatch check, what am I wearing today? I've actually got a Hamilton on, my only Hamilton. I'll throw up a picture too so you can see a nice little close-up of it. Not my last ham, probably. Not my last ham. I love it. It's pretty sweet. It is the khaki automatic in titanium, so super light. I dig that. Anyway, this is not a review about that watch, so we'll cover that someday. But today, let's take a look at this G-Shock. My love of Casio and G-Shock in particular is conditional. Like most things, I try to keep an open mind and explore as much as I can within the current and back catalogs to find things that fit that love. I'm a smidge obsessive with the research, so I usually don't get burned, thankfully. But with G-Shock, I'm often flirting with that line. Is the watch too big? Is it ungainly? Just like, not a good look? All these questions are kind of swirling around in my noggin, you know? Today's watch, I think, fits the bill pretty nicely. We have here the 2021 limited special edition Love the Sea and the Earth I.C.E.R.C or I.C.E.R.C G-Shock. I'm going to go with just calling it I.C.E.R.C for now. You know, bear with me. If you're not familiar with I.C.E.R.C, I know I wasn't. Here's just a little wee primer. The International Cetacean Education and Research Center ostensibly tries to raise education levels and awareness about whales and conservation efforts. There's a lot of murkiness about the org, I find. A lot of people are kind of like mixing it up with the Institute of Cetacean Research, the I.C.E.R., which is also Japan-based, so I sort of get why people do it. But that one, the I.C.E.R., is kind of mired in controversy since their, you know, quote-unquote research often involves killing tons of whales with a commercial interest as well involved. So, you know, pretty gross. I.C.E.R.C doesn't seem to be involved with them, so, you know, good deal on that. I'm a big whale lover. Moby Dick is my favorite book of all time. Real talk. No cap, as the kids say. So I'm an easy mark for this watch. Casio's collabs with I.C.E.R.C seem to be pretty regular, if not annual. So there are a ton of releases over the years in this series. But going back to what I said earlier, choosing the pick of the litter was complicated. I knew I wanted one, but a lot of the releases just don't mesh with my aesthetic concerns. Either they're from the bulkier G-Shock lines, you know, like your Mudmen or your Frogmen, you know, all your men, basically. Or they're just a tad uggo. Sorry, Casio. I did, however, take a shine to this reference, so here we are. Alright, that's a lot of hemming and hawing on this one. I'll revisit the aesthetics. Let's look at some metrics, though. You should be seeing some dimensions on the screen. My usual refrain holds here for G-Shock, though. The dimensions are kinda deceptive. And wearability doesn't seem to be an issue with this 5700 range, so that's neat. Although it is at the very upper limit of what I can pull off, I think. Even if one weren't super keen on the aesthetics here, you gotta appreciate how feature-rich this piece is. It's got pretty much everything one might want out of a non-hockey puck sized G-Shock. Solar powered. Check. Multi-band 6 atomic timekeeping, which I've been really liking a lot with some other pieces, have to say.
Check. And tide tracking. Whoa. Check. And that's not even getting into the more basic array of stopwatches, timers, alarms, etc. Real talk, I love that this has the tide feature, but I don't ever see needing it, to be very honest. I don't surf or fish, and I'm pretty much Anakin Skywalker with regard to the beach. So it's mostly just a neat thing, and it's okay to love something just because it's neat. So why was this one the one for this series, or from this series? Thorough viewers might remember my affinity for translucent plastic or resin. So the blue bezel was a definite draw, along with its nice peach-colored accents. I like that the piece wasn't entirely that way though. Having only the bezel translucent lends this piece additional wearability. It makes it more low-key, less of an eye-catcher, while still having unique visual interest. It's a fine balance, I have to admit that. Don't get me twisted though, I can dig on a garish, flashy piece sometimes, but I like that they went a bit subtler with this one. The more basic black band has the typical text for this series and hints at the watch's features. I love the steel keeper with the etched whale. Straight up swoon when I saw that, I love it. And there's a complex etched caseback with more imagery common to the series. I dig it a lot. It kind of gives me Aztec vibes, Lots of fun to pick out the different animals and, different just decorations there and whatnot. While I'm on the subject of these series-based accents, I have to call out a small bummer with this piece, and that's the themed backlight. Compared to online images from similar pieces, this image, which is supposed to be the signature whale and dolphin logo, isn't very distinct. You can barely tell what it's supposed to be, it's very faint, and I doubt much will come through on camera. So perhaps that's an area for improvement. I know Casio can do better with that. Maybe it's just my particular example, it's hard to say. So, there it is, y'all. A nifty piece, part of a nifty line from a nifty brand. I'm curious to see what Casio might cook up for the future with the Love the Sea and the Earth collabs. I'm sure it's no surprise if you've watched any of my other vids that I'd be jazzed to see some more squares on deck. Hint, hint, Casio. That'll do it for today, peeps. Thanks so much for watching as always. I hope you have a rad day wherever you are. Stay tuned if you want to see some more. See you next time.